What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content they watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the March 2nd, 2024 edition of SmackDown LowDown. Megan Morant, Sam Roberts in the studio. Got to get used to saying that because I'm usually used to saying Matt Camp in the studio with Megan Morant. But they had no episode last week, of course, because of the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber airing that same day. No SmackDown audio review from yours truly either. But we're back this week per usual with the SmackDown LowDown review. They open up the episode replaying the opening segment with The Rock, Roman Reigns, the rest of the Bloodline, setting up the WrestleMania 40 Night 1 challenge for them against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a tag team match. So, in the studio, Megan and Sam talk about the tag team challenge and the stipulations at stake. We'll hear probably from Cody and Seth, I would have to imagine, on Monday night, with them accepting or denying, obviously the former, tag team challenge for Mania. They also replay Tiffany Stratton beating Naomi. We hear from Tiffany backstage with Kayla Braxton afterward. Tiffany says that she's, still undefeated so far on SmackDown, having beaten, I think, Zelina Vega. She beat Michin, Liv Morgan, and now Naomi so far on SmackDown. Calling herself that, one of the fastest rising stars so far on SmackDown. She's well on her way to becoming one of the greatest of all time, she says, and that it's Tiffy time right now. Now, she made no mention of Bianca Belair, who was not on the show last night. I still think there is a possibility we could see Bianca and Tiffany one-on-one at Mania. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. The other option of Bianca teaming with Jade Cargill against the Kabuki Warriors and Bianca, Jade, and maybe Naomi going to the aid of Bayley against Damage Control, not a bad idea either. I'm just not really sure where that would leave Tiffany on the WrestleMania card, if anywhere. She doesn't need to be on the card, but you would think if they're calling her up now and having her rack up wins and really build momentum, then why else would she be called up now if she wasn't going to factor into the WrestleMania plans? So, I guess we'll see if they build into that, lean into the Bianca Belair talk, which they were kind of teasing on SmackDown prior to this week. They didn't really interact in the chamber, but they were interacting quite a bit on Raw and SmackDown prior to Elimination Chamber, so we'll soon see. That's a match they have in mind for WrestleMania. And hopefully they don't just give it away on SmackDown before Mania, that'd be dumb. They recap the very quick Braun Breaker squash, beating Zion Quinn. We hear from Braun Breaker and Byron Saxton backstage. Braun Breaker says that no one should last 30 seconds with him. Not even in the ring, he says. He just says that no one should last 30 seconds with him. Saying to Byron, "Can you last 30 seconds with me?" And insert your own joke here. And he says that he'll be waiting, and that was about it. So, I don't know why Byron Saxton said, maybe he said that Braun Breaker's match lasted under 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds. I'm not really sure why he said that. The match was like 8 seconds. The bell rang. He speared Zion Quinn, pinned him. 8 seconds, if that. So I'm not really sure. I mean, 30 seconds is a pretty distinct difference from 8. So 8 is far more impressive. 30 is impressive too, but beating Zion Quinn, 8 seconds makes a lot more wholesome. It makes a lot more sense. I'm not really sure why he said that. Back in the studio, they hype up Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, defending the NXT Tag Team Championships against Chase U at the Roadblock Special, the NXT Roadblock Special coming up on Tuesday night. They also replay Bayley and Dakota Kai's match with the Kabuki Warriors. Not really much of a match, more of an angle. Dakota Kai turning on Bayley. The predictable portrayal of Bayley by Dakota Kai, as we all kind of saw coming, but it was the angle that needed to happen to put more heat on the Kabuki Warriors, Kai, Io Sky, all of Damage Control, heading into Bayley and Sky at WrestleMania, which they do hype for the WWE Women's World Championship, the WWE Women's Championship, not World Championship. That's Rhea Ripley's title. Sam Roberts even says that Bayley didn't get the momentum she wanted on SmackDown, and they talk about the match for Mania. They also replay the street fight won by Carlito over Santos Escobar with the return of Rey Mysterio. We hear from Kayla Braxton with the rest of the LWO backstage after the win. Rey Mysterio says that it's only the beginning for Santos Escobar and the Legado del Fantasma as far as them getting their revenge on Legado. Dragon Lee joins them at one point during the celebration, not to say anything, but just to stand back there with them, which I thought was weird. It is notable because we haven't seen Dragon Lee on any show in like a month. He was on the NXT Vengeance Day show and on NXT for pretty much most of the year. I don't think Dragon Lee has made a single SmackDown appearance so far in 2024. And I thought it might have been a visa thing, but he was appearing in SmackDown, so maybe he could, I don't know, he was also at that NXT show that was on the road, so it's not even like he can only appear in Florida, which is where he probably lives at this point, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Dragon Lee, but hopefully we can see him back on SmackDown soon. But anyway, Zelina Vega says that what she saw on SmackDown was satisfying. Carlito calls it the icing on the cake to put Santos through the table during their match. Ray says that they roll together, does LWO, and they're going to attack anyone who doesn't want to see them together. So they're riding high right now, heading into hopefully Ray versus Santos 1-1 at WrestleMania. And that's a multi-man match. I say bullshit. I mean, it would be a fun match, but I really do think it should be Ray and Santos to settle their score 1-1 at WrestleMania. To close out the show, they replay the Randy Orton-Austin Theory main event. Fine match. That finish was amazing, though. I cannot get enough of that RKO from Orton to Theory. He sold that like death, did Theory. That was great. They also hype up for next week Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross, which I have not seen anywhere else. Maybe it was reported and I missed it, but I think due to the Rock and Roman and, the Rock-Roman Bloodline segment running long to open SmackDown on Friday, they had to cut a whole 2-minute promo package or a back and forth with new footage and new promos from Lashley and his crew and then Kross and his crew, kind of going back and forth, setting up their match for next week. And the only reason I know that is because they put up the video on their YouTube channel after SmackDown was over on Friday night. So they were definitely planning on airing it, and then the Rock-Roman stuff ran long. They had to push it to their YouTube channel. They were still advertising the match for next week. They never even acknowledged. I mean, I guess you can't really announce the match for next week without airing the promos first, which would make more sense. So they announced it here. That's happening on SmackDown next week, in addition to Logan Paul's return to SmackDown for the first time since Elimination Chamber, when he cost Randy Orton his opportunity to advance to WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. So we'll see Logan Paul on the show next week. Bobby and Karrion Kross 1-on-1 as well. Fine edition of SmackDown LowDown here, I thought, doing an effective job of recapping the events of a pretty eventful SmackDown on Friday night and also setting the stage for the remainder of the road to WrestleMania. So good stuff here from SmackDown LowDown. Thank you guys for checking out my review. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. I'm Graham G. Matthews. Have a great one, folks, and I'll catch your ass down the road.